Hello everyone, my name is Carter. I'm a customer support representative here at Kinze Manufacturing, and today we're going to talk about how to program a Kinze PMM on an ag leader Incommand display. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and power up our display. There's a button on the back left corner of the display. Once you start powering on your display, you'll see that our Kinze PMM and our clutch module and hydraulic seed rate control module will all start flashing lights. The PMM should flash red slowly if it's getting 12 volts, and your clutch control module as well as your seed rate control module should both flash green when they're getting CAN communication from the Kinze PMM. So once the display is powered up, we'll go ahead and go into our Kinze or our ag leader setup screen here. And as you can see here, we've already got our configuration set up. There's also a good helpful video out there to walk you through how to set up your planting configuration. But once you have that planting configuration set up, you can go into the wrench here on that screen, select seed monitor, and then we'll go into our planter configuration. This is where you're going to tell the planter PMM how many rows it has, what kind of options it has, whether it's bulk fill, vacuum, things like that. This particular planter, we are working with a 12-row 23 interplant 3605. So we're going to head and select our rear rows first, enter 12 in there, come up to our front rows. We've got 11 front rows on this planter. Then we're going to tell it how many shaft RPM sensors it has. This particular planter has 2 of those. We're running 15-inch rows on this planter. We do have bulk fill pressure, so we're going to enable that, as well as this planter is equipped with pneumatic downforce, so we're going to go ahead and enable that. You may also want to change your speed source to GPS while you're in this page as well. This planter does not have vacuum sensors, does not have any compressor sensors, so we're just going to go ahead and skip through those. Once you have it set up the way you want to, hit the check mark. It's going to pop up a little screen here that says it's required to do a MUX bus detection. Before you do this, you want to make sure that all of your MUX bus sensors are disconnected from the planter harness. So all of your seed sensors, your shaft RPM sensors, bulk fill sensors, PDP sensors all need to be unplugged from the harness before you hit the check to go to the next page. You don't need to disconnect any of your clutch modules or your hydraulic seed rate modules. Those are all controlled by the ag leader seed rate control module and clutch control module. So they're on a different system. So we've already got all of our sensors unplugged, so we'll go ahead and hit the check mark. It's going to take you to the next screen. That screen is going to tell you how to plug in each sensor and what order to do it in. So if you look over here on the left, it says rear row seed sensors from left to right. So Dan's going to go back there and start plugging in our rear row seed sensors starting at row 1 and going to row 12. And as he plugs them in, you'll see that they start calibrating and coming to life as he goes. So Dan just plugged in row 1. It's now calibrating, and it'll go down the line and calibrate and then go to the OK status. So once you get all your rear rows plugged in, then it's going to tell you to go and do the same thing on the front rows, again starting from left to right. So push row 1 all the way to push row 11. So once you have all of your rows configured on here, then you're going to start with your shaft sensors. Again, starting from left to right, so you want to plug in the left shaft speed sensor first, and then go to the right one. Once we have our shaft speed sensors plugged in, then we'll start with our options. In this case, our first option to do is our pneumatic down pressure. So Dan's going to plug in our only pneumatic down pressure sensor on this planter. After the pneumatic down pressure, then we go into our bulk fill pressure sensor. And after you get all your sensors plugged in, you should get a little pop-up here that says all your sensors have been found. Hit that check mark. Once you do that, your planter is officially configured and you're ready to go plant. If you ever need to replace a seat sensor or any shaft sensor for any reason, you will need to come into the planter setup again and remove that sensor from the configuration. So again, we'll go back into our planter configuration setup, hit the seed monitor again, and then we'll go to our sensor configuration, and then you can go down to whichever row or shaft sensor you need to replace. Select that sensor, select remove on the display, and then go and physically remove the sensor, install your new one, and come back in here and then hit the install button again, and it should configure that sensor to that row. And again, once your planter is configured, you're good to go in here and start planting. You can start a task. We've already got one set up here. Select your corn product. Then you're in a task and you can go plant with your Kinze planter. One thing that's important to note is that you should not have to do any planter configuration if you're ordering a new Kinze planter from the factory. This is only for if you're ordering a whole goods kit or you're replacing the PMM module on the planter, where you have to go in there and actually reconfigure the planter.